Greetings to the three of you. Always the same way, three people here, and I'm almost certain without looking, yeah, there she is, Nancy, of course she's here. Judy Bell, how are you liking this kind of music? Got a bit of country sound for you. We've got a Texas and Louisiana connection, Alabama. Trip's here, nice to see you, Trip. Are you the only three offenders? This is actually a track titled The Lonely Trucker, dedicated to our very own Lonely Trucker, CT, wherever he is in the world. Let's hope he's doing good. This one's for you, brother. Going out to you. Shout out to CT, Canadian Trucker, The Lonely Trucker. So somehow we've lost someone. No, we haven't. There's Cali Ninja. Hey, Cali Ninja. It says we've got two watching. So where did Trip and Nancy vanish to? Well, maybe we'll wrap this up in the next couple of minutes and call this to a close in at the 5-minute mark. What do you say about that, guys? Let's say we're call it a wrap in the next couple of minutes. Let's get the comments up so I can see who is here, even though there's only a couple of you. 3 watching. I would have thought my comedy thumbnail would have enticed more people, perhaps. I don't know if you like the thumbnail. So we've got Baby P, we've got Judy Bell. Thank you. We missed you guys yesterday. Although I think Baby P may have been doing a little bit of lurking. Look, we've lost Little Meat Stick. He's fallen over. There we go. How does that look, guys? Better? I've got to say, the batteries are almost running out on the Thrift Fam fireplace. It says 5 are watching now. 5 people are watching. What a cold, miserable day it's been in Toronto, Canada. Here, for me, TSP, even had a few little bit of snow flurries at a couple of points today. Nothing like major, no like blizzards or 6 feet of snow. But nonetheless, a little bit of snow in the air doesn't make you feel particularly upbeat, certainly not in April, and bear in mind it's not that very much longer to go until May is here. The month of May, you know, we kind of in Canada, it's a given that I'm not going to get good weather before May. Usually, you know, when the sort of October comes around, I'm like resigned to the fact, okay, it's going to be May before I feel warm in the sunshine and we'll be able to go out and be comfortable again. We've had a couple of little early tastes of spring here in Toronto. Some of the plants are beginning to bloom and stuff. Some leaves are beginning to sprout, and we got a little bit, you know, comfortable in that early taste of spring. And it's not uncommon to get cold, frigid weather in April. I've experienced it myself. Many people who have lived here longer than me have told me about, you know, oh, yeah, there used to be 6 feet of snow in April. But you kind of look to May as it's a given, right? We got to get to May. There can't possibly be any more snow or cold weather in May. And it's only a couple of weeks away, and we're still on lockdown. We'll probably still be in lockdown in May, June, July. Who fucking knows? I forgot to say, banana, how you doing, Trip? Well, we are going to be wrapping up in a couple of minutes, Trip, as it happens. We are going to be calling it maybe 10 minutes. We'll be wrapping this up at the 10-minute mark. There you go. There's someone already. One of the Gusset girls. Never fails. Hey, yourself, Darcy. How are you doing? Sings a lot of songs. Have you been singing songs today? Doing any prepping type stuff in your kitchen? Getting sick and tired of your kids and your Mexican? Got your undercarriage problems under control? I don't know, but welcome, one and all. You know, it does take a little bit of a while for the folks to roll in. There you go. Another one's here. Heidi, we just said we're going to wrap it up, and we've got 2 people. So we will be wrapping this up, guys, very shortly, possibly around the 10-minute mark. So we will be wrapping up very, very soon. Glad you made it. So what's been going on with you in the world today? Another one of those kind of days. As I said, it was very miserable and cold here and didn't really kind of inspire to do anything. Was a little bit of an effort to get out of bed, and had it not been for the next door neighbor and the renovation construction operation they got going over there, I would have stayed in bed a lot longer. But the tap in, the saw in, and the buzz in was very, very unsettling. See, another one rolled in. Every time we say we're going to wrap it up, someone turns up. Hey, Shawnee, it's like you were never here. And there's Maiden. Look, Never fails, guys. Never fails. We will be wrapping this up in around the 10-minute mark, guys. So, hey, Trip, are we talking about your banana again? We can possibly talk about banana. Heidi planted some turnips. Um, Sean is doing okay today. Yeah, you've had a little bit of bad news, and hopefully we've kind of given you a little bit of a distraction. We're not going to say we've made it all better for you, and that would be foolish to think that we could do that. But hopefully, and as we've come to sort of be accustomed during this pandemic, that the TSP live shows are a little place where we try to distract ourselves, maybe have a laugh and a joke or two, as well as maybe drop. So we got 10 folks. You see, guys, every time we say it, it's buffering again. Maybe it's just my side, but at least it's not your undercarriage. Boom, ching. There we go. Trying to give you some of that comedy that I was just talking about. Definitely better. Thank you all. Well, we do call ourselves the Thrift Fam for a reason. We are a little bit of a small, tight-knit community. We don't always get the big numbers in so many outsiders come into the thrift store for these live shows. And some of you guys out there, like our little Nancy and even Judy Bow, have come to kind of depend a little bit on the company and the community spirit that we have here at the thrift store and within the Thrift Fam. Is a little bit of, we are a support group, I guess. So sometimes when people are feeling down and they're not got the best attitude towards the day, the TSP TV live shows are their uplift for the day, if you get what I'm saying. So we're trying to keep it a little bit upbeat as we can. We're trying to lift the spirits and laugh while we are being forced into the new world order. There's no real way to sugarcoat it. FEMA in charge, calling the shots. Still not exactly entirely certain that we aren't being shouted in smoke screened with the CVID virus, as opposed to keep us away from looking to the skies and the comet and the debris that might be hitting the Earth. Now, something else that's very interesting in regards to the comet theory. Some of you have been here for a while. Hopefully, you did catch a lot of the videos that now, unfortunately, I have deleted from my channel. We almost had to start from scratch at one point and removed a hell of a lot of content that was possibly go against the community standards, and the fact that we were in a community strike status red, one more bad thing for the algorithm would have shut this channel down. So to prevent that happening, I deleted anything and everything I thought that could possibly trigger the algorithm. Went back to basics, just left my kind of pantry stuff up there and a couple of other things that I don't think would be offending the algorithm, should we say. But some of the content I did bring you was about strange skies comments approaching, and put a few videos out towards the end of summer, early fall last year, when the Cali and outages were going. And even then I suggested, were they putting the power out in those part of the world to maybe protect people from looking to the skies, or is it a distraction, a smokescreen, cover for something else? And something that I drew reference to from the realms of fiction was the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and I've mentioned that also during this pandemic. And even in the very, very, very early days of this, I did suggest maybe this is they're hiding us or getting ready to stage the alien event, the extraterrestrial, are the visitors our friend, or maybe some kind of comment that may, I've also added to this theory over the weeks and months. If and not some of you pay attention, or are just here just to hear the phonetics and the dulcet tones of my accent, remains to be seen. But some of you that do pay attention may recall this and will know that I have been talking about the next false flag event, the major global unifying event, false flag psychological operation, would come from out of the realms of our world, be it from the form of an extraterrestrial or an asteroid or comet. And at the time of the Cali power outages, I said, maybe they put the power down to put something in place, or stop people paying attention to something, or stop them being able to communicate. If there's no power, they can't log on to Wi-Fi, stuff like this. Routers need power. Everything was down. It's like the blackout. That's what a blackout is. There's nothing there. And maybe this was purposefully done as a smokescreen, so people couldn't pay attention, or even if they did see something that was untoward, they couldn't report it because there was no power to upload or anything. You know what I'm saying? And within the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, when they kind of deciphered the code and they were coming up with the da 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 da, and they realized that they were transmitting location in map reading stuff. That was what the aliens were transmitting down to Earth. Once they decoded this, found out the location, they planned or they staged an outbreak or a nuclear gas leak. I can't remember exactly. It's been some years since I watched the movie, but they staged an event that created the reason for an evacuation, and also implemented emergency agencies to come in and handle the situation. Once everybody was out of the way, no one was around, no one was looking, in come the mothership. There are certainly indications in our world today that support what you are saying. You've got a split Close Encounters of the Third Leg. Judy's Nancy's putting some little eagles and stuff emojis in there. I hope you're all happy in our hearts. We're as happy as we can be. Judy Bell was saying we do appreciate you. Just to go back a little bit, we were saying about the importance of the thrift fam community to some people. So this comet, you can't deny it is reported. There are stuff out there that the C19 comet is very, 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 very close to us at the minute, and there's a threat and possibility, and maybe even evidence to suggest that debris from this comet is already come in contact with Earth. There was some reports in Africa a week or two ago about a crater that was discovered, and the local authorities, I can't remember which country it was, but the local authorities at the time said, oh, it's nothing to worry about, guys, it's just a truck full of explosives hit a pothole, blew it all up. Yeah, you know, these explosives in trucks, potholes, it happens, you know. But the people that reported on the scene sort of had no evidence or supporting evidence to suggest that there had indeed been a truck full of explosives. It hit a pothole and blew up. It just looked like a big hole and a crater. And some astrological types also investigated it, suggested that there was even evidence that there were some kind of rock fragments rather than explosives, or metallic fragments from a truck or whatever. So, you know, this is not science fiction. This is not something that is being made up. This isn't, you know, clutching at straws to try and make things fit. These are you know, events that have been reported on. Whether or not they are accurate, whether or not it is a meteor or it was just a truck, but we do know, you guys should be clued in enough to know that sometimes the authorities don't always tell us the truth on what's going on. Very much what's going on with this COVID. I really do not believe the threat level of this virus is at the level that they are suggesting or saying, or the manipulated figures on the John Hopkins deathometer are suggesting to us. Certainly not in the sense that we need to close down the entire world, get everybody social distancing and enforcing them within their homes. Now, a little bit yesterday, we did talk about the events of 9/11, and we'll go back to those events now. The first plane hit. Within minutes, seconds, people were, the messages are out, the texts are out, the calls are out. Oh my God, something's happened in New York. Turn on the TV, turn on TV. By the time everybody was in place, tuned in their front rooms, in their bars, in their offices, wherever there was a TV screen, by the time the second plane hit, or the second tower was struck, let's put it that way, let's not say the second plane, the second tower was struck, everybody was in place watching the news. Now, in the United Kingdom, during those events, they actually switched from UK broadcasting to the United States broadcasting. We have Sky News and we have CNN Europe in the United Kingdom. But when the events of 9/11, Sky switched to Fox, and we were getting the Fox sort of narrative in between Sky footage. Sky and Fox were splitting up the stuff. Oh, over to our sister company in the United States, Fox. And CNN switched to the United States coverage and network. So we were getting all the US coverage, and that was part and parcel because the US channels were controlling the narrative. And once we were all placed, we're, oh my God, you know, it's like a movie. What's going on? Is this a movie? Is this for real? Everybody is in shock, in awe. We've never seen anything like this. All of a sudden it's here. And, you know, at that time we had widescreen TVs, big screen, not necessarily high definition, but we had DVD quality, high, it wasn't grainy, scratchy Zabruder film from JFK days. It was in the age of technology, but we were all there, we were all tuned in, and we all watched the events unfold live together wherever we were in the world that day. It didn't matter where you were tuned in. And New York is a city through fiction, through movies. Even if you've never ever been there, you can have some association to. During that time, Friends, the most popular show on the planet, everywhere around the world, people tuned in each and week to watch those lovable Greenwich Village residents hang out and have fun and frolic at the Central Park and have all sorts of shenanigans. And many people live vicariously in New York through that TV show, as well as movies and stuff, maybe music. New York was somewhere we all could associate with, and that was why it was pivotal that New York took place. And the towers, I believe, were their sole purpose of being erected was to come down, and the removal of the duality. It gave you the two towers, the one world, one world trade, two world trade. Okay, the dualology, the Democrat, the Republican, the Coke, the Pepsi, the Pizza Hut, the Domino's. Can I go on and on? I'm pretty sure I could. You get the picture. United States is based on a duology. What happened on that day is those two towers come down. We watched and we seen as they disintegrated into dust before our eyes on the screen. We all were part of that psychological operation, and we were all controlled for a degree during the time that we were transfixed as it was happening, as it was folding on the mainstream media. What we have now, people are at home, they're separated from their work colleagues, their friends, their sports teams, their yoga clubs, their aerobic classes. They're not doing any of those things that they normally did. They're not going to the sports events. They're not doing anything other than staying at home, either Netflix and chilling, checking out your favorite YouTubers, but the vast majority are sat in and they are plugged into this mainstream narrative of the COVID 24/7. This is how the psychological event operation works. They are brainwashing people into believing the sky is falling and the pandemic is going to get us all if we don't stay inside, social distance in order from Amazon and Uber Eats, and keep ourselves sustained during that time by doing so. Don't worry about having a job, just keep ordering Uber Eats. And if you could keep your Netflix subscription up and running, that would be great. Why aren't Netflix offering Netflix for all for free during the pandemic? They're not. They're still getting their money's worth, and they're probably getting more money because people now are suddenly at home with nothing to do. But the majority of people are plugging in to the mainstream. They're a captive audience. They have been listening for days, weeks, months now to the mainstream narrative, brainwash them slowly and surely. Now, while we're all inside and home being brainwashed by the COVID, none of us would probably be at all paying attention to what is going on in the skies. Now, are these strange weather phenomena something to do with the possibility of foreign bodies entering our atmosphere, be it craft, be it meteors? I don't know. Sometimes these things can have ramifications on a geoscale. So guys, I don't know if any of me this is making any attempt to you. They are going to reopen America Aztec, but not America as you know it, and it will possibly be an America that runs solely and primarily on using tracking devices such as cell phones and online ordering services such as Amazon and Uber. And that is why part of the why we are at home being brainwashed, or the majority of people being brainwashed by the mainstream, what's going on. We're also being socially engineered into accepting the new norm of having your groceries delivered contactlessly, having your pizza delivered contactlessly, getting used to not going to your local restaurants, but having Uber Eats bring your local restaurant to you. Stay in your home, don't go out. And maybe they only allow certain people out at certain times, while the rest of us, as I say, FEMA is in charge, guys. The government is gone. There is no president of the United States anymore. FEMA are in charge. Maybe they put the White House folk out there for public display, but the presidential seal is no longer on display at the White House in Washington DC. It just says White House, Washington DC. No presidential seal. Aztec kind of likes it closed. Yeah, it's not bad. Try to make the most of it, enjoy the break, having a thing. I'm not getting an ID, so we might not even have an option. I understand, sometimes you know, when we look at certain situations, there are many things that we think that we wouldn't do willingly, until faced with the alternative. Then sometimes minds are forced to change, and I say forced to change. You know, but as I said, that, you know, I don't think anybody's really going to do it. But the ID 2020, excuse me, Bill Gates and his ID chip and pin project. He's also the guy that is the second biggest funder of the World Health Organization, and also promoting, oh, we need to get a vaccine, in how we're going to go and be able to transport from city to city or country to country. All of that is going to be changed radically and implemented in the new America that is going to be run by FEMA. They have emergency powers now. Every state was declared a state of emergency. FEMA has been calling the shots, guys. Is Truefix here? Who knows, guys? Who goes? I'm not saying we're facing a threat bigger than religion, because that might insult some people who are religious. As you know, I'm not on that thought pattern, but I do not judge anybody or decry anybody for having whatever faith or belief that they choose to have. But we are, you know, it's a little bit, God, I kind of keep bringing Star Wars up, as it's something that's been a great influence to me through my life. I am Generation Jedi. I was, you know, a 7-year-old boy the first time I watched Star Wars, and it mesmerized me and has been part of my life, pretty much part of my life, all of my life. But Star Wars, certainly the prequel movies, if you watch them, not for Jar Jar Binks and the midichlorians and the pod racing, but look at the political structure that's going on within the intergalactic republic, and how the single individual Palpatine, who was controlling not only the Trade Federation, on one side advising them as the Sith, he was also advising the Republic. He was the shadow government, always two, the Cabal, the Master and the Apprentice. So, you know, the shadow government, they're always two, and in this case, one of those two would be the banking Cabal, and then maybe the industrialized military complex, or the militarized industrial complex rather. But he controlled and he manipulated all the events that happened in order to gain control. And once he did finally gain control, he did not relinquish it and transformed the Galactic Republic into the first Galactic Order, the first Galactic Empire. And he claimed that it was for a safe and secure society. And what he did is he ridded the Jedi out of existence pretty much, except for a couple that managed to evade Order 66, and he removed all of his competition from the separatists, the bankers, the Techno Guild, the Trade Federation, all these people that kind of run and operated trade and had a threat to the singularity. The empire's dominance was removed from existence. This is what we're having now. This is why so many businesses have been closed. This is why some services are deemed essential, and essential services will be possibly government run and funded from here on out. Lmel's here. Lmel, did you see tonight's show is a special dedication to you? Or not necessarily you, but your rubber equivalent. Talking of which, I've got a bicycle pump. I was going to try and pump her up, but I'm not sure if we're going to have much luck. The pink gussets, yes. So, actually, I kind of salvaged this from one of the furry turds. Where are the furry turds? I don't know where they've gone. I've lost the furry turds, guys. That's disturbing. But I got this. This was what you used to blow up the doll. So, hey, we've got Alias here as well. Who are the others? Alias, Aztec, Nancy, Maiden, Almal. Yeah, it'd be a shame if Almal didn't show tonight, seeing as tonight's live show is entitled Together in Rubber Almal Dreams. Do you remember that movie back in the 80s? The song was sung by Phil Oakley of was Phil Oakley the Human League? I think he was. We'll always be together in electric dreams. And that's what we are. We're all together in electric dreams some way. Dang, homie, I see you got a W. What do you mean a W? What are you chatting about, Aztec? So let's see if we can actually blow up rubber Lmel. So lucky enough, that kind of thing does fit in there. I think we might have a little bit of success, guys. You might be good. It's not perfect, but let's see how we get on. I should have done this beforehand, actually. I'm not sure if it's working or not. It actually works like that, but not so much with the bicycle pump. There it is, you see. Let's try that. I don't think it's working, guys. Oh, I wiped her down with Lysol twice. Trip. Not only that, Lmel sent it. You know what she gets up to down in Tijuana with those donkeys. Swedish made pea. It doesn't work. She's not blowing up. I'm just gonna have to do it that way. Go TSP, pump. That's disturbing, Aztec, especially coming for you, maybe from one of the ladies. Pump chumping. So I'm going to try and do some manual blowing of rubber Lmel. 17 people have tuned in to watch me blow up a rubber doll. Amazing. God, I tried to suck instead of blow. So she's getting a little bit of air in there. I don't want to get myself like lightheaded. Let's try the bicycle pump again one more time. The thumbnail, Laurie here. Tam, what's up? How long have I missed? You've missed 28 minutes and 15 seconds at this point in time, Tam, but glad to see you. This is the stuff that makes you go viral, blowing up. Let's see, Lmel. Anyway, let's see if we can get some more air in the girl. I need to take her to like the gas station and blow up. What's up, ATN? Look at us, 16 people. I'm blowing up rubber Lmel. So somehow this has turned into a little bit of comedy. So we did have a little bit of thought-provoking stuff for the first few minutes of this show. Don't know if I should even bother trying to inform me on stuff like that and just go out full entertainment. Good morning, Pandemic. How are you? But one of the legs is getting a little bit stiff. I don't know if that's a good sign. Thanks for the warm welcome. Yeah, no, you're getting close to your wench, Tam. I think maybe I think we are making some progress, guys, actually. Her leg is twitching. I'll be dancing, lurking now. Could you film yourself dancing, lurking there, Maiden Montana? Yeah, I'm trying to pump up rubber Lmel. Hopefully by the end of the show, rubber Lmel will be inflated. As if you can have a little look, there's a little rubber butthole that I drew on there. Pump up the jam, pump it up. So she's looking a little bit better than she did. You know, she was all flat. So we're getting somewhere. Goodness, when did it all come to this? Blowing up a rubber doll. What are you owing about? Sings a lot. Is it the rubber Lmel's Sharpie coochie? Oh my goodness, guess what time it is? Let's take a little bit of a break from blowing Lmel. Look at the sky. It's getting loud. Oh my God, but it's also getting cold. Okay, I'm going inside, guys. It was getting far too cold. It's like fucking 2 degrees and I'm only in thin pants and a shirt. Why they do it, I found out, is for the health workers, Lmel. The hospital is just around the corner. Somehow I fucked up my tripod. But they come out every night at 7:30 to do this for the health workers because the hospital is just around the corner from me. Sorry about that, guys, getting the camera set up. But yeah, they go out and do it for the health workers, but there's also some tradition that it wards away bad spirits. So they've been doing it pretty much every day. Well, not every day, sort of a few days after the pandemic was announced. Then no, Toronto's raccoons aren't scared of pot and pans. Toronto raccoons are gangster as fuck. There's actually a little bit of folklore here. The Toronto raccoons, they're like the kind of New York rats. The Toronto raccoons will fucking rip your eyes out. But anyway, so anyway, they've just been doing that every night at 7:30. It's sort of something that people, I guess, look forward to. The kids enjoy doing it. There's a little girl, I don't know if you caught it in the background, as she brings her bongos out and plays, and some people ring bells, and you know, there's some whooping, some clapping and stuff, and you know, it's just nice, I guess, regardless of the reasons, just that the community come out once a day and let themselves be heard. And it's about time that really and truly we stopped buying into this bullshit and went out of our self-isolation, removed ourselves from enforced lockdown, and take to the streets and make ourselves heard, make ourselves be seen, and tell us that we're not, you know, we're not taking the bullshit. If we're going to get fucked one way or another, at least wriggle a bit before they fuck us. Do you know what I'm saying? Shawnee, hello. Are you leaving us? Oh no, have a good night. I thought you were saying hello. I was going to say, you've already been here. Do you keep like leaving and coming back to get the hello stuff? I'm sorry if you are leaving us. Thanks for joining us here. It would be nice if it did work. Get away. But let's go back to trying to get Robert Lmel a little bit more inflated. We have made some impressive progress there, but yeah, that was quite loud tonight, the pan bang. And some of you guys sort of start enjoying it, I guess, as part of the TSP live through this. Each and every night we go out. And it'd be a sad day when the pans aren't banging at 7:30. Let's hope they don't come to that. For drastic purposes, like an asteroid hitting us or something. Good God, that was a little bit of a bit. Sometimes I get a bit carried away and think if I give it a big blow. See, I can't even talk. I got that lightheaded, blown up. But I think if I give a big blow, maybe I can do it in a less amount of time. I like raccoons. I don't try to scare them. The only thing I get, we get skunks and possums in my neighborhood. Sings a lot. Um, and we're very, very close to Hyde Park. Actually, the other day there was a coyote run up the street. Believe it or believe it not. End Times loves the thumbnail. It was. I kind of even when I made it, I'm like, I think this is the best thumbnail I've ever made. You're welcome. You're welcome. End Times. But skunks. Fuck me. One night I was out on my stoop in like it was that close to me. It ran along the bottom of the stoop, like literally under my foot. And had he sprayed me, goodness, there was no escape. But I do also see a little possum scouting around here and there, especially last time I saw him quite a lot. I think I saw him the other day. It does look like an album cover. I actually used to have a group, or I still do have a group on Facebook called Album Covers That Are Really Wrong, but kind of forgot about it after a while. But the raccoons here, I've even got some video of the raccoons in my neighborhood. I've fed them by hand, literally fed baby raccoons by hand. I had some moldy bologna in the fridge that I forgot about, and there's some baby raccoons in the garbage outside by my stoop. So I literally kind of fed him from my hand. And I've also actually they do get caught in the garbage a lot. Sometimes they like kind of get in, but then they can't get back out and they wriggle around. And I was trying to like open it to let him out. He's like, and eventually when I did like get the lid open and he let me free him. He was a bit of a jerk and sort of at me and snarled, so I punched him in the back. I'm eventually going to start a rock band called Voice to Skull. I'm disappointed at actually, Aztec. I was hoping you were going to call it Rubber Lmel's Coochie. That's a band I would go and see in concert. Now, for the 16th week at number 1, it's Rubber Lmel's Coochie with their song, Nutsacks in a Meat Sick. I've seen an albino raccoon. That was pretty funny looking. Okay, you can, yeah, don't ask for permission, Lmel. Do what you have to do. I'm quite surprised we've actually got 19 people watching this. So I have tried to bring a little bit of kind of, I see what I've done maybe. Oh, guys, I think we might be barking up. Look. The valve went right through. It's punctured the oh. Oh, wait, look what's happened. I've lost connection. Man, you're done. You still blowing? We've got to get her. Look, guys, she's getting. You can see her tramp stamp. Look. Alrighty. She used up Shah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure probably Lmel found her in a dumpster anyway. I don't think she went out of her way to purchase this. And if she did, she probably didn't do it with her husband around. Can't imagine that. Hey, honey, we've got to go out shopping. Oh, do we have to, Lmel? I really don't want to go out shopping. Sports on, darling. Can I stay and watch some sports? I've got a bag of Cheetos. I just want to stay and watch the sports and eat my Cheetos. No, come on, honey. We've got to go and do some shopping now. What do we got to get? We haven't got to go to Target again, have we? No. We've got to go to Party Supply. We need to buy a rubber doll for that guy I watch on YouTube. He bought it. You poor guy, Lmel's husband. I'm sorry. You deserved more than a meat stick as a token gesture being sent to you. You're a trooper. We're getting somewhere, guys. We are certainly getting somewhere. Look. There's a little bit like Oh my goodness. Yeah, the turd does look like a pubic muff, but it's upside down. Oh well. Look. I never recycle my dolls. Yeah, that's what happened. Look, she's popped. She's somewhat blown up, guys, but the air, look, I somehow punctured her. There's a hole, but worry not, worry not. We are going to try, we have the technology to repair her. So Lmel, she's going to get a band-aid. Oh my God, I just shaved my undercarriage. Thanks for that information. Have you ever given it a little nick and got, you know, like sometimes when you shave, you get a cut, because it doesn't have to bleed down there. Certainly you can put a dampener on proceedings as well. Guys, I'm trying to stand her up. She works. There she is in all her glory, Rubber Lmel. So there you go. What do you think? Hi, I'm Rubber Lmel and I'm here with TSP TV to bring you the latest news and shit video productions. Yeah, so there you can see her little boobies. Not exactly very appetizing. There was her shit video production Merkin, and I don't know how. Hold on a second, I'll go and treat you to this. Okay, if you kind of open her up, there's a I just want to see some bah-ha-has and funny emojis from Darcy in Lmel before I remove it. Put some clothes on her. There, she's got a hat on. The hole, sadly, the hole isn't doing us any favors in the back. There's her tramp stamp, look. She's already kind of... There you go, guys. We blew up Rubber Lmel. We could put a t-shirt or a shirt on her, maybe. But she's going down rapidly. Not like in the good sense that the hole, I think, didn't the band-aid didn't work. Let me give her another little inflate, see if we can get her a bit more. Okie dokie, there she is, look. So put some clothes on her, you say. Wait there. Actually, I do. It's kind of hard to dress. I'm not putting my panties on her. I don't even have panties. Laurie, I don't know what you think I do in my spare time when I'm not TSP TV. I'm trying to button her shirt up. It's very difficult. I don't know why this is so hard. Evil. Okay. How's that? Then you can just split it open if you want easy access. I put some clothes on her for you guys. That's some crazy ASMR for sure. I'm so lightheaded now from all the blowing. It's kind of like I've had a hit on the bong. So can I get you back on the screen again? She has no pants. Well, look, she's going to be deflated by the end of the show, Lmel. She's going down already. No, I don't want to have to start. Auto monitor sensory muscle response, I believe, ASMR stands for. This is how the world ends. Well, guys, if it is ending, and it looks as though certainly the ways we have come accustomed to possibly a thing of the past. CH? Crying Hippie, oh, there you are. Crying Hippie, I had to think who CH was. It's arms. No, I don't know. Goodness gracious, I've got a sort of a bit of a headache going now. It's just what I said, California Ninja Adventurer. I do have who wears pants at home these days? Well, I am actually wearing pants, Tam, but I have thought, what is the point? Really and truly, you know, I've got nowhere to go, nowhere to be, but a little bit of a routine. You know, I do make sure that I get up each day and take a wash, take a shower. Once a day, I do try to do something. Like yesterday, I did a little bit of housework. Today, I shaved my head. I haven't got a bra. I don't have a girlfriend or anything like that around, although I think a girlfriend did leave a pair of her underwear for me somewhere. Pajama pants, exactly. It is very hard to get out of pajamas, and I kind of do have daytime pajamas and nighttime pajamas, and then actually bed pajamas, and my bed pajamas are just kind of like sweatpants that I cut the shorts off. But funny enough, in the book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which was an apocalyptic event, the world was destroyed. Was it by a comet or something? But it was destroyed, and the one sole survivor of Earth survived in his pajamas and dressing gown, in this a little bit, you know, kind of Mad Max, Walking Dead, all these other kind of post-apocalypse type themed genres from fiction. You know, they kind of, everyone looks a little bit badass and cool, you know, like Daryl Dixon with his haircut and his crossbow and his waistcoat, and then you got like Mad Max, although Mad Max was disturbing. I don't really know why everybody in the apocalypse other than Mad Max decided that they needed to wear sadomasochistic fetish outfits while riding around the desert in, I don't even know what you'd call the vehicles that they were. They weren't like chop shop, but they were kind of like dune buggy things. If you'd be willing to model it, Lmel, I could possibly send you the shirt. Although I don't know when I'm going to be able to send any of the people the things that I want to send them. Trip, please, I do ask for your patience. That hopefully I can get your little gift package out. And Heidi, I do be working on something for you, some MRE accessories for you to try, if or not you want them. I do realize I did say that I'd give you a little one of the energy bar biscuit things from the Chinese ration, but almost like, hey, do you really want a Chinese thing sent to you? Probably not, but I do have the intention to do it when I have the means to. I will. But yeah, it is. There is something very. I do like a lady to wear flannel to bed. It's very sexy, and especially if it's your shirt as well. There's something about a girl grabbing one of your shirts and putting it on to wear to bed. Um, it actually is far too small for me. The shirt, it's shrunk. Yeah, it is. I've been waiting for weeks and weeks and weeks for my big box of Chinese, not Chinese, Japanese candy. That was going to be a little project for me and Tenzin. We were going to get together and eat the entire box in one go, 60 pieces of Japanese candy. As part of a little mukbang. She wants to start a little channel. I was going to help her off, and that was kind of like, here, this could be your first video thing. But it hasn't arrived, and it's like nearly 6, 7, 8 weeks since I ordered that. I think there's been earthquakes and tornadoes, all sorts of strange weather going on over the country right now, as well as the COVID. And as I said, everybody's paying attention to what's going on with this COVID virus and watching the John Hopkins deathometer rise by the day toll, and be reminded, you must flatten the curve. The curve must be flattened at all costs. You must flatten the curve. That kind of, although it's not as obvious as that, but it's not far off. You must report your neighbors for breaking protocol, procedures, and parameters of social distancing. Oh, Mad Max. I was trying to remember what that was called. What are they going to do when the hurricane starts and one hits with social distancing? And it does, and we have already established that Lmel did package it up and send it to me, so who knows what contaminants. I mean, maybe the contaminants from the Tijuana shows wiped out the Chinese contaminants on the rubber Lmel. So what were we chatting about? We were talking about the comet possibility. I don't know if any of you guys are on board with me there, or even think it does sound like a logical theory, at least. And certainly to me, it seems more probable than and likely than the QAnon cult. Stick to the plan. JFK Jr. is coming to raise from the dead and lead us to the one world Logan's Run utopia, where Greta Thunberg will be a saint and we'll all eat beyond meat. Deep Impact 1988. I'd love it. I mean, there has to be a way, but I've often thought, it wouldn't it be great if we could have like a movie marathon somehow, some way. I did experiment on Facebook a couple of weeks back where we tried to watch Soylent Green. Nancy couldn't help hear the commentary very well. And who else was there? Sings, it was you, wasn't it, baby girl? You were also watching a little bit of the opening sequence of Soylent Green, but I'm toying whether I should do another Soylent Green video or not. Some of you have followed me. Will Q never said he was alive? No, but it's part of the well, he isn't, because here's the thing: he's when JFK Senior was shot, JFK Junior stepped up by default. He's no longer Junior; he's the only JFK, because once Senior's out of the way, then. But anyway, yeah, so they gave us 3 movie channels. Spectrum, most of the movies are pricked. Well, Lmel, again, you're this is why they're socially engineering and predicting you. And this is part of the brain control. I've told you for many, many months, guys, that predictive programming is the tool to prepare us for the reality. We see it in the fiction, and then when it happens in reality, it's, oh, it's just like the movies. And we've looked at, there's probably aren't many movies that don't have some form of predictive programming or social media, mainstream media, TV shows or stuff like this. There's all some kind of social engineering or predictive programming in it. We talked about you many months ago, how Friends, again, we're going to bring up Friends, how that was a social engineering, and how people started hanging out in Starbucks pretending they were Joey and Chandler and drinking coffee in big cups because they saw it on Friends. And in the 90s, Deep Impact, Armageddon, these were movies that were running pretty much at the same time as each other simultaneously in the movie theaters. Both the same theme, asteroids, comets, end of days. Then not so long ago, we had like 2012, the San Andreas geostorm, quite a few of these moons. 12 Monkeys is also an interesting one. Red Dawn, is it the original or the reboot, Lmel? Because Total Recall, again, that's a very, very interesting movie. I did some stuff on Total Recall. We're getting similar technology to Total Recall here at the Toronto airport. Okay, then it doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. There's only one Red Dawn, if you remember. Wolverines! That movie was fucking dope. But yeah, these movies, and talking of which, I was watching Iggy earlier, and he was talking about, somebody mentioned there's a movie coming out, and there's a movie I was not very aware of and not heard. I don't really watch or follow what popular movies are coming out anymore. It's been many, many, many years since I've had an interest in going to the theaters and seeing anything. Once upon a time, I told you I'm a geek, I'm a nerd. I was all up in the latest releases and trying to see the latest release before it was released somehow, one way, the kind of geek nature and the trying to be first and knowing shit. A little bit like the truther community in some ways and respects. Truthers, I guess, are nothing much more than kind of conspiracy nerds, and it's that kind of similar research in behavioral patterns that we have as geeks and nerds that are comic book movie buffs and stuff like that. Night of the Comet back in the 50s, as was When World Collide. There's another movie, The Day the Earth Stood Still and The Day the Earth Caught Fire. They rebooted the Day the Earth Stood Still in 2012, funny enough. Oh no, 2008, I think. We've also seen movies about what was the one recently? It was a UFO 2016, I think it came out, Arrival, where the UFOs or the aliens landed around the world and they couldn't decipher if they were friendly or not. I've not seen The Fourth Kind, but there's also been movies like, at the same time as Armageddon and Deep Impact were popular. There was also Mars Attacks, Independence Day, the Terminator movies again, Skynet, the Terminators, the Future, the Matrix was also coming out around the time of that in 96, I think. Was that the first movie in 96, or was that later than that? Maybe 98, I'm not sure. But all these kind of movies now, we look in retrospect as some kind of, prophetic, almost, certainly the Matrix coming out of that. But movies like Deep Impact and Armageddon, they were both plagiarized reboots of a 1970s disaster movie named Meteor, which starred Sean Connery. And in that, where again there was the Cold War element, the Russians and the Americans were flexing their nuclear muscles at one another, but all of a sudden this asteroid coming and hurtling towards Earth required their combined strength and might of their nuclear arsenal, and they're working together to overcome the one, if this asteroid hits us, there's not going to be any Cold War, there's not going to be any Russia or America. Damn it, what can't you communists see? And eventually the communists did see the light. You're right, you are right, America. If we cannot work together now, then we can never work together with the threat of the meteor. And they sent up the bombs to take out the asteroid coming to Earth. What was it? To be fake. I was a little disappointed to find it was fake, kind of. that scares me the shit out of me. Signs was a movie that I found eerily scary, not like kind of shit your pants, sort of jump out of your seat, jump kind of fright, but it's just kind of scary. The aliens and the just the little glimpse that you saw of the alien in there caught on video cam. I thought that, but back to this movie that is coming out. As I said, I got a little bit sidetracked then about the predictive movies, but predictive programming. And there's a movie that is due to be released on June the 12th, and it stars good old disaster movie star Gerard Butler. Remember Geostorm during one of the wildfires in California during the power outages. He was around the same time his movie Geostorm was doing the rounds in the movie theaters. He did a little Instagram video. Look at me, I'm a Hollywood star, and here's my home on fire. Leave the city, and that stuff. But anyway, he's back to play yet another character in yet another apocalyptic movie named Greenland. And the premise and the plot of this movie are as thus: a meteor or comet is on trajectory and on course with Earth, and the debris field of that comet is causing almost chaotic extremities to the Earth's ecosystem and such forth, extinction level. However, within the movie, the population of the globe are put into self-isolation to protect themselves from the knowledge of the comet, and they're deceived about why they're being self-isolated from this, and it is part of the damage control, and the government and the agencies, they have prior knowledge, and they are trying to damage control the situation before it happens by not putting people out in mass casualty situations or locations. If there's not so many people in public places or on transit or stuff, then they will be somehow protected a little bit from the coming asteroid. Now, what is very, 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 very interesting, guys, that you can now no longer watch the trailer for this movie. It has been taken down everywhere. You cannot watch it anywhere for love nor money. I think Kelly Kibo found a link to it, but they are, maybe I'll try and check it out later, Aztec, but they've taken that down for whatever reason. I do not know, but it does sound very, very, very startling to what we are experiencing now in terms of the lockdown and the pandemic. Now, another thing I need to point out at this time, if you can remember leading up, we're going to go back to 9/11 again, guys. So we did have a bit of fun blowing up the rubber doll, but I do want you to pay attention and listen to what I'm kind of telling you now. I'm not saying this is what is going to happen. This is what I think is a strong possibility. Now, we've seen all the hospital videos. I've done a couple here. Jason Goodman crowdsourced the truth. He's out frequently in and around New York daily doing walkabout videos, going to places of interest and places that are being spoken about on the mainstream as being overwhelmed by COVID victims. And he's been looking at the hospitals that seemingly are empty. Ambulances outside, people just strolling around, the staff not seeming to have any urgency about them, certainly not displaying any signs of being overwhelmed and dealing with the traumas and horrors of a global pandemic and endless amounts of victims dying, respiratory issues, yada yada, whoop-de-woo, ray-tay-tay. You know the narrative of this, what they're telling us is going on in hospitals. But there's no evidence of it. Hospitals are empty. We're seeing them singing and dancing, TikTok challenging their way to bite the boredom because there's no one at the fucking hospitals. People are staying home, so they're not having accidents. They're not being told to go to the hospital in case there's nothing serious at all. Maybe they are clearing beds and making space for something that hasn't come in. Again, back to 9/11, on the events of that day leading up to it, FEMA moved into town with triage centers and all this stuff because they were going to be carrying out a drill, which coincidentally and almost ironically was a drill for the exact thing that happened on that day. The odds of that, unbelievable. But luckily enough, because they were there to carry out their drill and they had directed a triage center and an emergency center as part of the drill, they were also able to treat victims luckily enough, right, that was just such a stroke of luck that they had everything they needed to treat and have a disaster, in the event of a disaster on hand there, ready to go, and a real disaster happened. You couldn't ask for more of a blessing than that, really, other than maybe, the planes missed their target. But again, that's depending on if you believe planes were involved at all. But here's where we come back to today. So we've been seeing in New York, and we've also heard in other places in and around the United States, that they have built emergency tented hospitals. We've also seen that they brought the hospital ships into New York and into Los Angeles. Some people, the QAnon cult folk, believe that's to just transport the children from the underground bunkers. QAnon has said it's part of the plan. Stick to the plan. Where we go one, we go all. And again, I'm not necessarily mocking it. I just can't really. It just seems far too good to be true. And when something is too good to be true, it's not. It's genuinely not. But maybe all these emergency temporary hospitals, and they've even put emergency morgues. Apparently, there are an emergency morgue in Central Park, and other places have implemented temporary morgues. What if these are being put in place for the comet victims and not the COVID victims? Think about that, guys. I don't know if you're paying attention or not. No such thing as coincidences. Thank you, Laurie. They ready to go. Drill become reality. Now, they were running drills and drills and drills and drills leading up to the Wuhan outbreak, and the drills cannot be of any coincidence, and everything has been put in place for some mass casualty event. Now, the mass casualty event isn't the COVID. It isn't the COVID, guys. We're not seeing the figures and the numbers. And we also did a little video yesterday, whether or not you saw it, about how the reimbursements are affecting how hospitals are treating people, because it's in their best interest that anybody that walks through the door of a hospital to have COVID, because if they treat a COVID patient, they are reimbursed for it as part of the bailout plan. Trump dying from... Maybe. Well, they had the opportunity to do that with Boris Johnson, because they rushed him into intensive care, but 2 days later he's back at his job. Did look a little bit shit, I'm not going to say, but he's back at his jobs. So, intensive care to run in the country in a couple of days, is it really that serious? Did he even need intensive care, or was that just part of the story and part of the narrative to keep us focused on the COVID and the pandemic and not paying attention to the skies? Now, there is a huge star that's supposed to be Venus in the sky at the moment. Is visible, and there's also I believe some of these astrological circles that have been watching the C19 comet are now saying it is visible. I don't know if that is with the naked eye or with telescopes, but it has become visible at the moment. So maybe guys, that's why they've been putting the military all into place and getting them ready out of sight, although many people have seen and witnessed some of this military convoys and stuff being deployed around. But again, these were in places where there is a military presence, be it a naval or Marines or Air Force. So maybe not necessarily unusual to see that kind of thing, but maybe they are being put in place, ready and waiting for this event. Another thing that has also happened, that a lot of the US naval ships have been sent out into the middle of the ocean, and the middle of the ocean in the event of some kind of impact to the earth would possibly be the safest place to be. I noticed it's not Venus. It did a weird thing last night. I've been watching it every night, usually when I finish these shows and I go and have a look outside. It's there, and it seems to be sort of getting bigger. I don't know if I'm imagining it getting bigger, but I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, your desire. Dun, dun, dun. No, I was going to do a different tune then. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. It sounds like I'm your Venus in my head. If it doesn't sound it to you, I'm your Huckleberry. Thank you. Alias, medical equipment being set for exactly. It's all being set up for mass injuries, but there's no mass epidemic victims that we're seeing. When they were telling us we were going on lockdown, I was expecting by now, body bags on the front lawn and, smoky mist around the place, and the odor and the stench of death. But there's nothing. Nobody, I haven't seen anybody in my neighborhood that is disappeared or succumbed to the virus. We aren't seeing people at the hospitals. So why do they need all these hospitals and temporary morgues if people aren't dying in the masses like they said? Even Boris Johnson, who went to intensive care with his symptoms, come out of intensive care after a couple of days. None of it's making sense, guys. And the more and more and more. Hello, Kelly Kibo. Just talking about the comet theory, darling. And we're just talking about the Gerard Butler movie that you can't watch the trailer anymore. And just explaining that, maybe this is why we are seeing so many of these temporary hospitals and temporary morgues being erected around cities in the world. Not for the COVID patients, but for future victims of maybe comet impact. And just like on the events of 9/11 where FEMA were already, FEMA are now in charge of the nation. So maybe this is it. They know that the planet is under some kind of threat from interplanetary foreign bodies, be it UFO craft or asteroids. And maybe this is why all these morgues and temporary hospitals have been erected and put into place, because we are going to be getting a mass casualty event coming in the not so distant future from out of our atmosphere. I don't really want to be scaring folks, but again, we have to also ask ourselves, what was the purpose in the introduction of Space Force? Very, still pretty recent since they've been around, and not so long ago they sent Space Force out on their on a first mission, I believe. And I've also suggested over weeks and months, that we've been on YouTube. We've been a family and little community, that I do believe that the next false flag, major false flag, will come from outer space. And I pointed out in reference to the Watchman, how kind of the Watchman is a little bit of a way of deciphering what is going on in real life through the form of fiction. And I did a video, I think, not so long ago, where I played, you can actually watch the animated version of The Watchmen on YouTube, and I played the final chapter, the end game. In that movie, again, a little bit like the movie Meteor back in the 70s, with Sean Connery at the helm as the astrologist professor that saved the world with his knowledge and insight and research towards comets and stuff. But within that, the Meteor, the Cold War was very, very, very evident, and the Russian United States nuclear thing was a big threat. And this is what happens in The Watchmen. The threat was also part of the plan, and everybody was distracted waiting for nuclear war to happen, as the Russians and Americans were about to make their Cold War live by launching the nuclear missiles. And while people were in absolute shock and panic, the end of the world is coming, this is when Osmaniadis, the most intelligent and most wealthy man on the planet, the representation of the elites, the New World Order, the Illuminati, the Cabal, within the realms of the world of the Watchmen story, he orchestrated it all and carried it out, a large false flag staged alien invasion in New York City, right where we're being told is the epicenter of the COVID, where they have temporary morgues, where they have temporary hospitals, where they have all this stuff that has been brought there to help them with a wave of COVID that doesn't seem to be coming. Does it make sense to anyone else other than me that could be possibly what they are for? They are waiting for a mass casualty event, and they're keeping us in the dark, in the smoke screen, under the guise of social distancing for a pandemic that isn't really there, so that we don't get worried, concerned, civil unrest, start anarchy. We're going to get fucking blown up anyway. Let's party like it's 1999. Or they don't want you to look at the sky. Exactly. If we're all inside and we're watching the mainstream sprout off, flatten the curve. What part of stay the fuck home don't you understand? The pandemic is proudly sponsored by 3M, N95 masks, and Charmin Quilted Comfort. But yeah, they're not paying attention to anything else, but people are talking about the comet. Can we even see if we can get something up on the comet? C19 comet. Let's see what's in the news. 21 days ago, comet coming towards Earth, and it's called, can you see this, guys? C19. Is there a video? A photograph has caught on camera a massive comet coming toward Baby P, that's for you. And it's called C19, a comet named C2019Y4 Atlas is pictured. I actually believe this was the comet that I did a video about, and it was actually a comet heading our way, I think was the title. Sadly, it's a video that's no longer on my channel. I deleted it in part of my purge to try and keep this channel from being terminated. However, the celestial body will be visible to the naked eye within weeks as it zooms brightly in the atmosphere. In one picture, a fuzzy outer layer of light can also be seen around the comet known as the coma. Is that coma or corona? I can't see. The comet was spotted on the 28th of December 2019 before the first reported case of the coronavirus in Wuhan. Astrophotographer Jamie loves to take pictures of the natural world and can add C2019Y4 Atlas to his collection. And that was that. Oh, no, there is more. I'm trying to read your comments as well. Just made me think of yucky comet ping pong. Again, comet ping pong, putting the words in our head. The words comet is now implanted in us. Ping pong. Comet, plummet. When's that one? Comet quarantine. The traveling space body is reported only a few kilometers wide, but its atmosphere has grown increasingly big, now believed to be half as wide as the sun. Is there any more? No, that's that. So that was the only news stories from 21 days ago. Let's look at all. The COVID Atlas conspiracy, the incoming comet C19, welcome to Wormwood. Is this new comet an extinction level event? Let's read that. And this is very interesting because guess who this is from? The central banking gain banking insanity world. Okay, maybe it's something. I thought they were the bankers, but maybe it's not. This new comet and an extinction level event. Why is it named C19 like COVID-19? Why is the government putting us into lockdown and sending us high command into bunkers? Is not this fake pandemic a cover for all the market to crash, but is it also a cover for an ELE? Which why is this comet also called Comet Atlas when Atlas is the name of the early warning system of objects that could hit Earth? Why haven't the big telescopes shared any of the pictures of this new comet when the comets are of great interest to astronomers? The only picture of C19 is from an amateur in the field. There are hundreds of big government-owned telescopes, yet not one pic of this new great comet. This is interesting, guys. Why would the government shut down the entire, and this is what I'm saying, the entire economy? Aren't they greedy? Don't they want taxes? Exactly. You know, they are taking an awful lot. Unless you're Amazon or Uber or got shares in 3M95 masks, you're going to be out of earnings at the minute. So why would they dent their earnings in order to save us from a pandemic? the virus meet about the same other big event like the economic collapse or communist takeover, who knows, but the current situation is very surreal. I managed to photograph the comet approaching on Sunday even through a small telescope. The comet has a similar orbit to the Great Comet of 1844, leaving to speculation on whether C2019Y4 is a fragment of the same parent body. And I actually think that was the thumbnail I used for the video I made of this. So let's go back, see what you guys are saying in the comments. This is what I'm thinking, guys. More and more. I mean, I can see where we're heading towards the one world government and all that, and that might even be, the aftermath of the comet, and maybe the comet is just being part of the icing on the cake. Oh my God, we've got a pandemic and a comet. There's no alternative but to have a one world government to take control of this situation. But it makes a lot of sense to me, at least. I don't know if any of you there thinking OMG, I had the same thought. The trailer, they mention people heading towards bunkers in Greenland, and here we have wealthy building bunkers in New Zealand. You found a copy of that actually after that feed that Iggy did earlier. I tried to find it and it's just nowhere to be found. I found a couple of guys talking about it, but no actual visuals of it. The very interesting that they pulled that trailer down at this point. And something else interesting, going back to the events of 9/11, due to be launched in September of 2001 was the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie. And in the have you ever seen the Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire trailer? But anyway, this was doing the rounds. Everyone is excited. Oh my God, Spider-Man's coming out in 2001. And even in the movie posters of Spider-Man, there was a close-up of his face, and in his eye you could see the reflection of the two towers. I'm going to do you a little treat here and see if I can okay.
Clint, shut her down.
So they're in a bank, guys. Have you ever seen this?
Ladies and gentlemen, please for the main call. Get your head down, get your head down. It'll all be over in about 30 seconds. Go, 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 go. Clear. Okay, go, come on. Go, 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 go. Hey, the candy from the bed. Yeah. Sit back and enjoy the ride.
Okie dokie. So that was the original Spider-Man trailer, and funny enough, that trailer was pulled from being released, as were all the movie posters. I don't know when it's coming, Laurie. It's supposed to be coming through very close towards the end of this month, I believe, and maybe parts to the tail are going to come round in May. Yet government Abbott commented how all of Texas is abiding so well with the quarantine, except maybe if they're going to do to us. May. There's also an asteroid coming, and may strike Brazil. This is it. I did a video where I mentioned that both of them, there's two comets on their way to us. One was going to be in, I think, April, and one was going to be in May. Or maybe wrong, one might have been August. But anyway, the WHO is on the payroll. They belong to Shill Gates, and Shill Gates wants his ID 2020 implemented. And he is calling the tune, and they are singing it. So that was another commercial that was removed, and now we've had, and then lo and behold, boom, the fucking towers got hit, right? In the month that the movie was supposed to be released. And we're supposed to see this Greenland movie being released on June the 12th, the 6th month, 6/12. Is there anything in that 6/12? Well, we suggested that it would be a staged event, Crying Hippie. So disguising something as a rocket is a meteor and like a mini nuke, and maybe that's what they're going to do, the staged event. This is what happened in The Watchmen. It was he created a CGI alien being, and then using some kind of technology to, could even be 5G, but he had some kind of, his scientists bring up some technology that wiped the minds of literally fried the minds of the people in Manhattan, as part of this staged alien attack on Earth. That this huge CGI alien being, I think it was in Times Square or Madison Square Garden, that's where it hit, killed 5 million people, and it zapped their minds in an instant. They were all kind of frozen in place when they kind of found the bodies afterwards. Okay, the trailer, where is it, did you get that? Is that it there? Okay, let's see if we can watch this. I don't care if we can get is that it at the top? Oh no, we've got to go down to the bottom. I'm trying to find the trailer. Is there a, can you, yeah, here it is.
Maybe he's still sleeping.
Dad. Some of Clark's larger fragments are now expected to enter our atmosphere.
That's right, I know.
What are they saying?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Is this Clark, this interstellar comet? Big news.
I don't see Clark.
Maybe he's still sleeping.
Dad. Some of Clark's larger fragments are now expected to enter.
Clark, C, look, Clark. The comet's called Clark, C19, Clark.
Whoa. Where are they going?
I don't know. When the first chance is about to hit.
What?
Only part of it. It's going in the ocean. But you look at that. Wait, where's the explosion? We now are getting word that the fragment has hit Central Florida.
Wait, are some more pieces gonna hit?
Come on, let's go.
But the sky's on fire.
2 days. They got it all wrong. There's a ton of fragments. Planet killers.
Planet killers.
Didn't take long. Space agencies are predicting an extinction level event. We're gonna be together, all right, kiddo? We're just trying to get to safety.
They've been tracking the military flights to bunkers in Greenland.
It's our only chance. Allison! Nathan!
Quark's largest fragment will hit in less than 24 hours.
I swear, I'm gonna get my family in that bunker. I know you will, son.
If you are hearing this broadcast, seek shelter immediately.
Shelter in place or shoes have been ordered, right?
Hang on, Nathan.
Seek shelter immediately. Seek shelter immediately.
You want to see it again, guys? Lots of comments going on. Sorry, I haven't been paying attention because I'm using one phone to play it. Do you guys want to see it again? I'm headed to my cement basement bunker. Sure, okay, let's press it again. Thank you, Lmel. Sometimes I don't think you pay attention, you just talk amongst yourselves.
I don't see Clark.
Oh, maybe he's still sleeping.
Dad. Some of Clark's larger fragments are now expected to enter our atmosphere.
That's right, I know. What are they saying?
What is it? Whoa. Where are they going?
I don't know. When the first chance is about to hit.
Ants?
Only part of it. It's going in the ocean.
But you look at that. Wait, where's the explosion? We now are getting word that the fragment has hit Central Florida.
Wait, are some more pieces gonna hit?
Come on, let's go.
But the sky's on fire.
2 days. They got it all wrong. There's a ton of fragments. Planet killers.
That didn't take long.
Space agencies are predicting an extinction level event.
We're gonna be together. I get it. We're just trying to get to safety.
They've been tracking the military flights to bunkers in Greenland.
We certainly can. Allison! Nathan! Allison!
Where's Dad? We'll find him. It's okay. Clark's largest fragment will hit in less than 24 hours.
I swear, I'm gonna get my family in that bunker. I know you will, son.
If you are hearing this broadcast, seek shelter immediately.
Listen, what's going on?
If you are hearing this broadcast, seek shelter immediately.
Hang on, Nathan.
Seek shelter immediately. Seek shelter immediately.
So that was the trailer. I did see someone said play the fourth kind of video. Let's not push any copyright strikes just yet. So maybe we can get it up a little bit later. So let's see. Oh, do right. No, I did catch a couple of the comments. Now, yeah, you're right. If you were to disguise a bomb as a meteor and have an extinction level or kind of explosion as a result of this bomb meteor type concoction, that certainly would do a great campaign towards your depopulation agenda, right? That would do a lot of numbers for there, and in one foul swoop you could get a big percentage of your desired depopulation figures with an extinction level event. From my dream, I was walking through the rubble of houses as I looked up and see comets coming down. I also saw Maiden having prophetic dreams. Is this what your dream was also of, kind of comet related or apocalypse related, Maiden? I'm gonna have to watch that again. I'm pretty popular after Notre Dame caught fire. I haven't seen it since. The burning of Notre Dame, that was ritualistic, guys. That was all of this, I believe, in the COVID now is kind of not necessarily, it's the end game of what we used to know, and it is the beginning game of where we are heading. And they have been destabilizing and breaking down the old ways pretty much since 9/11. You know, even things like the TV show The Modern Family. This is the modern family now. You've got to have a couple of gay guys that have adopted an Asian super genius child from somewhere. You've got to have the neurotic beta male husband. I have dreams of running through the woods, running from something. Oh, whoa, Lmel, yeah. Yeah, it makes the Navy map quite relevant. What, sending the map, the Navy people out to sea? Is that what you're talking about, Lmel, or something else? That's why I said I'm going to the roof to watch it come and not the basement. What gives, dude? You need glasses? Maybe. Who knows what we need? Crying hippie. Probably need a lot of things, not just glasses. That was a very interesting movie. As I said, it seems to, even the comet in the movie was called Clark C. My kids too. I see the ground and we're running it like crazy. Where I was in this deer stand thing, watching everything around me burned. No, the map of a change of the U.S. shoreline. Okay. That's a good one, Jay Silver Bravo. Welcome, welcome. So we've got dang, and it's an hour and 37. Where did time fly tonight? So guys, I don't want to worry people or fucking say, yeah, this is exactly what's happened, guys. There's a comet coming, we should start making the most of things at the minute. But certainly does sort of many of the things add up that what we're seeing now would certainly support that theory stronger than they need all these temporary morgues and emergency extension hospitals and temporary hospitals for COVID victims that just frankly aren't there. And we did talk about 9/11 and how they already had the triage units and all that stuff ready waiting to go in place for the drill. So maybe oh, it's lucky we had all the temporary things in place for the pandemic because we were able to utilize them for the victims of the comet. No, but intelligent minds think a lot alike. It's good to think outside the box. Well, I've always been told I sort of think outside the box by people I come into, not necessarily in a good way, though, Kelly Kebo. But hearing, the repetition of the mainstream narrative being piled home and drummed home, it just, you can see, but between lies, it's kind of like that Reservoir Dogs when Tim Roth, was he Mr. Pink? But he was the undercover guy, right? He was the undercover agent that was infiltrating the gang and their activities. And they told him, you need to get your cover story. You need to get your cover story so you believe it. But the thing with cover stories is they never really differentiate that much. If you've actually had a story that's happened to you, maybe when you retell it, you remember something or you forget something that happened, or you know what I mean? You kind of relive it, or you can, the retelling of that story can be slightly different, but something rehearsed never changes. Something scripted never changes, right? And that's what he did. He had to relearn and learn his story until he believed it in order to be able to get the other people to believe it. And the people at the media, they believe that shit because that's what they're being plumbed into. They're agents of the elites, these newscasters, these celebrities, shills, these Hollywood types. We're losing buffering. Sometimes I think when they buffer in there, that's the AI trying to silence us a little bit, but they don't know it. They probably just repeating a script, and they're not independent journalists. They are reading from scripts, and the script is handed to them by whoever is paying the bills. What was an awesome movie? Reservoir Dogs. Yeah, it was a great movie. Exactly. And funny enough, you know, we were talking about the thing that brought me close to termination was the shooting that was in New Jersey. And we pointed out while it was live, some of you guys were watching live as it happened. And as it was happening out live, and we were watching the live broadcast of the supposed victims, I was pointing out that they were, in fact, crisis actors reading from scripts. And we even caught the bad weave lady. Do you remember the bad weave lady, ladies and gentlemen, who forgot if she was picking up her son or a nephew? She forgot her lines live on TV. I have a Reservoir Dogs t-shirt. That's pretty cool. Reservoir Dogs. Now, I don't know if you know this, but Quentin Tarantino had written Reservoir Dogs and True Romance. They were his first two screenplays. However, he didn't have any money or shit to make any of them. So he sold the rights of True Romance to Oliver Stone. Funny enough, Phoebe's boyfriend was in True Romance. He was it Clarence? Clarence's buddy that was out west that they went out there to try and sell the blow that they stole. But anyway, Quentin Tarantino sold the rights or the screenplay of True Romance to Oliver Stone for $30,000, and Tarantino then made Reservoir Dogs with 30,000. He went to Harvey Keitel, said, "Look, I got a script. I want you to play one of the characters, and I've got $30,000. Can we make it?" And that's why primarily the movie takes place in just a warehouse. There weren't very many actors, extras, anything, or locations. My friend said, "Got guns and supplies. COVID-19 making these girls horny as fuck." I don't know. I haven't seen a real girl. Funny enough, Robert Almel is the only real girl I've seen recently. I do get to see girls on a daily basis at work. So if or not they are horny, I don't know. Maybe I should drop Jessica a text. No, I shouldn't. Maybe I should. I don't know. That's not for anyone to look into or remember even. Let's move firmly on. But if or not it is making girls horny, who knows? The people with registered firearms are going to have a real hard time soon. Well, the trouble is, Aztec, what you have to understand, when FEMA are in charge as they are now, all your constitutional rights are gone, brother. So your right to own arms have gone. They can be taken away from you any minute now, and probably will. Maybe before the comet hits, just to make sure in the aftermath people don't go around shooting and looting. And maybe that's why FEMA have been put in charge before the event, so they can take control when it happens. So there they go. They are gonna find those peeps first. Well, of course they are, because they've got their addresses and registration where they live and stuff like that. That's why you need unregistered guns that don't have "We ain't caring if you wet your whistle." That was purely a joke. You say that, but we did I did have one viewer that actually used to get very jealous when I spoke to other female viewers in the chat. No shit, actually would tell me, "I'm jealous of that person, I'm jealous of that person." I'm actually jealous of Almal. You were one of the individuals that this person was jealous of. So maybe you don't sings, but maybe some do. Drumming up donations, they ain't for us. Maybe I should take that cue and opportunity from Almal to pimp for some donations of my own. I'm going to get the tip jar link. I don't really do this, guys. You should know by now. I'm not a beggar and a pleader and, "Hey, donate, go to my Patreon," all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Some guys do make their, this is their full-time job. But at the moment I am out of work, so if anybody is gracious enough to donate to the proceedings, I will give you the tip jar. As I say, we're not going to pass it around all the time, but I am doing this daily. This has become my voluntary position, I guess. My little job gives me something to do each day, entertain the troops, maybe inform the troops, maybe, as Kelly Kibo said, give you some thoughts that are outside the box to consider, that we're paying so much potential. Usually when you pay so much attention to one thing, you have to look elsewhere as to what's going on, the Easter eggs and stuff. Who's still there? Where are we at now? Let's try and keep this going for another 15 minutes, guys. And I am going to take a piss and a spliff break. Oh, Lmel, you are the best. Thank you, Sugar Tits. I believe I did. You're Darcy, right? Of course I did. I got one. And that was yesterday. Sings a lot. I think so. Again, thank each and every one of you that does show your generous side and donate and tip to my my tip jar. As I said, I don't really make a habit of asking for it. I do this when I'm in full-time employment. It's a little bit of a hobby and just a little bit of a pastime, and you know, a little bit of an interest, I guess. But at the moment, it has become my full-time job. Although I don't know if anyone's getting any education or information or influences from the proceedings of these daily live shows. But most of all, you know, we think we've established that it's a little bit for the kind of community, the camaraderie, and the fact that kind of like-minded folks can kind of escape the sheeple and the mind control and the brainwashed outside that what fucking don't you understand about stay the fucking side? Didn't you see the PSA with Phoebe's boyfriend? He's gonna drop kick you if you go outside. And flatten the curve. We must flatten the curve. The curve must be flattened at all costs. Stupid coronavirus. I got my stimulus check today. Awesome. Not a lot, sorry, little something to keep the tank running. Everything's great, welcoming and grateful at the minute. I'm great. As I said, I'm great. Oh, thanks, Lmel, saying you need me, and I guess I kind of need you too, because otherwise I would just be talking to little prepper baby. We all do our little bit, and we all play our little part in the proceedings. And you know, there's no little or no large contributions. We all play our part. Thank you, baby P. You are the best, the best, the best. And as I say, guys, I don't really like kind of resorting to this, but I do have bills to pay that will be due soon. I mean, fortunately, due to my kind of nature, I get myself a little bit in advance just in case of emergencies. And lo and behold, we're all in an emergency. So I do also need to get myself something to eat today. I made a wonderful rat-fucked ration yesterday. I combined chili with scalloped potatoes, and oh my god, it is the best fucking MRE combo ever. I wish I could just eat that every day, although you'd probably get tired of it. But I do need to eat something before the evening gets any later. Darcy Lopez sent me a message. Yes, I believe I do. I think we've addressed that at the minute. A little bit, it is a bit, and you guys are, you know, my friends, neighbors, and family. As at the minute, I am a lone wolf. I don't really have, you know, I do have like outlets. I do go and have my little soccer group that I hang out with and watch the TFC games. I got my girls at work that I kind of, you know, interact and laugh and get some social interaction with, as well as a few customers. But I am a loner. I don't really got anyone else in the world, and for most part, it's just me. And you know, I do get occasional interactions with my roommate Roger throughout the day, but I am on my own. And what Lmel's saying, some of us do have zero social lives. I don't even really like going out at the best of times anymore. I do kind of prefer to stay home and be on my own, and I'd rather be in a nice warm place reading a book than in a bar getting drunk. Indeed it is. It has been crying. Everything is been by design. Nothing is involuntary. Nothing is independent. And rational, independent thought process has been replaced by suggestive persuasion. So again, this is a little bit why we have been going live each and every day. For some of us with no social life, or who maybe, you know, our daily social interactivities has been upheaved as a result of this planned scamdemic, smoke screen from the comet disaster that's on its way. I don't know if that's true or not, but there is a lot of stuff that could point you in that way, and you could be forgiven. I think. Like Kali Ninja says, my only family is the TSP family alias. I tried to meet a guy, he was a tweaker, I'm done. He was fat, you know, looking, I was fooled, my kids, all that matter. I'm not a tweaker alias, I'm very, very skinny, although I do like my marijuana and do sometimes eat edibles, and I might self-medicate with opioids at time to time, although not frequently. El Paso is not a good place to be. I had a yard sale a month ago and I got totally mobbed. I was thinking, what if this were hungry people? What were you selling at your yard sale, Lmel? Not your panties from the Tijuana donkey shows, and that's why you got mobbed. Poor look. I just want to show you Lmel. She's deflated there, still in her flannel shirt. Still in your flannel shirt. And a couple of days ago, was it yesterday or a couple of days ago, we were all talking about, you know, we would love our little TSP thriftorium community that we could all live in and contribute and live together in some kind of harmony. And I would do my part to repopulate the thriftorium empire. We need future thrifty citizens. So yeah, maybe we will end this on the thrift prayer. And you know, I'm not a religious guy, but I do a little thrift prayer from time to time, just to ask whoever who is in charge and watching over us, just to keep an eye out and an extra watch over each and every one of us. Flannel, truly Canadian. Fuck me. Do you want to just see something, ladies and gentlemen? Flannel. I do have a little bit of a fetish. Flannel, 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 plaid, flannel. So yeah, I think I've got enough flannel shirts for every day of the week for a month. Although I did give a few away because I shrunk some. Lmel, little Lmels and TSPs. Lmel's husband's listening, Kelly Kibo. But yeah, we could have Lmel TSP hybrids. We could have Kelly Kibo TSP collaboration. We could have Lori TSP babies. We're not going to be having crying hippie TSP hybrid humans. Alias, if you want, I'll impregnate you in the thriftorium. We can have an alias TSP hybrid for the proceedings. I don't know. Baby P's laughing. That's good. We could even have a baby. Oh, I don't know. Maybe not so much. Maybe Baby P would just be the nanny. She could look after them. I think maybe, you know, be a bit different. We could practice impregnating you, Baby P. I'm not going to say we wouldn't give it the best shot, but you know, sometimes women of a certain age, they can't kind of pop them out anymore. That's just fact, not being unkind. You need flannel there. We could all live in flannel. That could be our cult thing. We could all wear flannel. Flannelly. It's Canada, eh? So I do have a lot of Canadian. Believe it or not, guys, I bought each and every one of those shirts from either thrift stores or like Value Village, and I've actually got some designer names in amongst them. I've got some Tommy Hilfiger, not really designer, but Banana Republic, like the fancy Gap. I got a Banana Republic shirt. I got a couple of Jack and Jones in there. I have two from TSP. Feck me, feck no, Lmel. Who told you that? I don't know, but Serious TB, you give. But seriously, TSP, one or most of us probably give you a fake marriage so you come live here. God, Alias, you that was it was kind of a little bit of a plan of mine in the United States. Unfortunately, I kind of fell in love with two of the wrong ones. And kind of thought, got got my eggs in two, but I haven't put my egg in one basket. I had two options, and actually fell. Never mind, let's not go in that one. But fell in love with the wrong ones, and ended up getting deported, still no green card, and unfortunately haven't even been able to get a sniff of coochie that you don't pay for here in Canada, except for the weird bohemian girl I was kind of dating not long after I got here. I think I told you the anal beads story where I pulled them out and she backfired up the wall. The meat stick nutsack cult. I wouldn't really be advertising it as a cult. I would like try to enforce some kind of cult-like behavior over a period of time, but nothing like major. It's not going to be Kool-Aid, Jonestown type of cults, or QAnon, or Greta Thunberg, Thunder Cunt, Greta climate change cult. But yeah, with I'm pooched, Mel. I got screwed out of a car did accident, sort of get 400,000 at least. It does sound like a snack somewhere along the line. So what are we at? 1 hour 56 minutes. Oh, I'm bad. I misread. I'm like, holy smokes. But yeah, if there are any of you kind American ladies down there who would want an arrangement going on, I'm kind of happy to eat out well-maintained, clean and hygienic coochie once or twice a week in exchange for green card redemption. That's okay, Heidi. Whoa, have you been gone all that time? How long have you been gone? Yeah, lawyers, damn them. So guys, let's start wrapping this up, because I do need to pee, I do want to smoke, and I do need to eat. You strike me as a giver, CH is a good guy. CH, I don't know if you're down, but I'm going to go to City Hall Sunday, see if any end of the lockdown folks are going to be out and about down there. There were some out in Vancouver last week. Dan from Press the Truth, he went there. There's only about 24 people that showed up to this, but small acorns, trees, mighty oaks grow. So yeah, I'm thinking of going down there on Sunday afternoon, City Hall, 2 to 5. If or not you're down, I could catch you there if you wanted to. They are, but I'm going to wrap this up for you guys at the 2 hour mark. I have a technical arrangement, HUD. I have rent based on income. They can't kick me out for non-payment now. Gas heats over the shed in the backyard. I'm happy to live in the shed, Alias. Are you in a warm state or a cold state? Because I am giving preferential treatment to those in warmer states. As a backup and last resort, I might consider Michigan or Indiana, maybe Maine, but I'm trying to get away from the colder places. So there was it. So good night to you, Heidi. I'm going to wrap it up, guys, and I was going to give the thrift player. You're not a chick, Aztec. You're not a chick. Okay, I'm not marrying you, although probably gay marriage would also be applicable these days. But anyway, I'm out of your league, son. I'm an exotic Bentley. Think of it like that. Not just not a Chevrolet or a Lincoln or a Mercury. Or is it? No, it's Lincoln Mercury. My Mercury's on the end of the car. I don't know. So guys, I was going to give us a little bit of the thrift player to see us out tonight, as we did have a little bit of a special. Hey, you guys are important. We all mean something to each other, and we kind of depend on each other as a family. So I mean, that is true. If I was south of the border, we could also go like south in the winter times. It is just the kind of the invisible barrier and the immigration issues that sort of stop. You probably would, baby P, probably would. So shed big and have propane. You stay for a beginning of interview, then you free lull into the warm sunshine. Well, this is what I live in. Look, this is my basement. It's a nice, comfortable and warm basement. I'm very happy and comfortable here. Don't get me wrong. There's probably one of the better places I've stayed in Toronto. Probably the best place I've had since I've been in Toronto. But it's, you know, not that much big than a shed, really. I mean, it's a big shed or a garage, perhaps. I guess you could get a car in here. So I don't. Hey, good for you, Heidi. She hit her 1K mark. That is amazing, tremendous job. Glad to hear it. That is that Kermit on your closet. Where are we looking? Over here? No, it's Darth Vader. That over there are Dollarama bags in a kettle. Of course she does Crying Hippie. That's where she does the donkey shows. She sometimes takes it also to Juarez and also to Nogales, although in Nogales it gets a little bit shadier than donkeys, I'm not going to lie. But check out her website, Lmel's Donkey Delights, south of the border. You'll love them. Once you've seen it, it can never be unseen. Sadly, poor rubber Lmel, she didn't last the duration. We've gone over the 2-hour marks now. So yeah, no, it's not Kermit. Kelly Kibo, what are you seeing and what are you smoking? My dear God, are you smoking crack cocaine, my dear darling? Sorry, that didn't get very Indian at the end. Anyway, guys, Thrift Flair, we are gonna wrap up. CH, she lives in Tijuana too. She's on the border. Although not on the border to Tijuana. I used to live on the border to Tijuana when I was in San Diego. There we go. Free Joe. Maiden, you're in Joe Exotic's Tiger Kingdom. I invited you. Pretty much any and every Tiger King meme, joke, or relevant thing is in the Tiger King, Joe Exotic's Tiger Kingdom. The white doors looked like the character is on it. What white doors? What are you talking about, Kelly? And we over here? That's water in those bowls. Those are my drawers. There's Darth Vader. There's the Kia pet that I killed. Oh, there are the furry turds. I found the furry turds. I thought I lost them. They're over there. You know. There was my bald head I just poked in. That's where I sleep. There's some scarves on the wall. There's my stormtrooper blanket. Deflated rubber Lmel. My micro pantry. I used to tell people I hated they sucked big donkey dick. It was not. I was not a good teen. I know sings along. Dumpster tuggies, bending over for an extra 50 cents. That poor zebra donkey. A good night dinner. Enjoy your dinner. Haha. It's a stormtrooper. Yeah, is that what you were talking to? I've got those like kind of Japanese, Chinese paper wall door things there that my coat's hanging on at the minute. I guess that's what you were talking about, the white doors. There is a little another area to my my basement. This is where the boiler is, and the light doesn't work. That's the router over there. There is a couch just here you can't see, and like ottoman. That's Roger's little pantry there. And there's my pantry. Shit, I did it for a cigarette. I know. And you only bent over for the extra 50 cents. It was a cigarette, and if you give me an extra 50, I'll bend over while I do it. Probably looks like a grow house from the outside. You can grow here. It's Canada, buddy. It's legal. We can grow. Nothing wrong with growing here. Spaceballs, a little bit. I love that movie. Ludicrous freeze, speed, windows covered. Yeah, well, I'm in a basement. I do got come over here. There's a window. There's actually a few good documentaries of Joe Exotic you might want to watch. The Louis Theroux one is very interested and still get arrested. Hey, it tickled my spot. Well, yeah, I would, part of the arrangement, I would happily do some spot tickling if need be. As long as I don't have to look at you in the eye while I do it, sings along, not a problem. So as I said, guys, ladies, rather, if you are in North America, the United States of America, rather, not North America, it's Canada is in North America, and those Canuckian ladies, they're only interested in the bling bling and the bank the bank roll. They don't want no broke ass honky with a YouTube channel. But I do find American women are far easier pleased, especially if you have an accent and are happy to eat coochie, although not unattractive, smelly, unkept coochie, but shaves a lot. She's not shaves a lot, although we could call her shaves a lot. Sings a lot. Did inform us that she did shave her undercarriage earlier. It's pretty much how she announced herself to the Thrift Fam all those weeks and months ago. So what if every one of us that gets a corona checks 100 US bucks, that's like 35 Canadian. That's a very nice idea. I don't expect anyone to do that. No, actually it would, I mean, I don't know if you're making a joke that Canadian money is worthless. It would be about 120, 130 bucks, I think. No, I don't want to look at you either, exactly. And no kissing on the lips. I mean, I kiss your coochie lips, but I'm not kissing you on the mouth. Sings. Again, we're gonna have to get rid of the Mexican, probably not Aztec. I mean, you can still sext him if you want, as long as I'm not around. Is it more, Laurie? I was just saying what you was wondering. I know you do sings a lot, and I love you, dear. As I love all the Thrift Fam, not necessarily as I love an unconscious Jessica Alba, but maybe as I love a good spliff. There you go. I love you guys like I love a good spliff, and just like I can't be without a spliff each and every day, I come to depend on you each and every day to be there to listen to me and stop me going crazy and talking to my wall. Food prices here are ridiculous. We're going on longer. There's 2 hours 7 minutes now. I still haven't pissed or rolled a spliff, and I was going to do the thrift prayer to see us out, but I think we've lost a few people along the way. So guys, you did see that what are you, Julia Roberts? You just been around the world, Lmel, in the search of debauchery. Piss. Yeah, I'm actually sitting with my legs crossed and leaning forward to try and stop that. Well, that was foreplay for when. Yeah, that wouldn't be the first time, Laurie. I've warmed up the wife for hubby. Although not at the same time as hubby being around. Although there was, oh God, no, won't talk that. There was, oh God, a weird experience with. I was teaching somebody English. And anyway, found out their husband was in the closet watching. Still, $3 for a dozen eggs. God, $3. They're like $5 for a dozen here. It's ridiculous. I was also going to drink some frothy powdered milk. Sings, seriously, I would have a chicken coop. Yeah, chickens would be good. Some chickens. I don't mind collecting the eggs if one of you potential green card providers has chickens. I'm happy to collect the eggs and do a little bit of cooking if you want. As I said, you also get the trophy boyfriend or stroke husband, because whenever you go to social gatherings, this is my husband, he's from England. Don't you love his accent? And then instantly that I will probably, I've been in America, I know how it works, guys. Oh, the eggs are normally $1. Yeah, I can remember when I was in the States. God, I wish I had my channel when I was in the States, because my thrifty living was off the charts. I could feed myself for $15 a week and still eat steak and pork chops. Well, eyes, beauty and the eye of the beholder, Aztec. Some people like Rembrandt, some people like Van Gogh. It's all art, but some people have different preferences. You can come here. See, look at that. Cooking. Coochie's eaten twice a week, and a spot tickling. As long as there's no eye contact, we're all good. So just go out and be an asshole. You don't know, alias, I'm very aware, in an asshole with an accent, you can be like almost a fucking shit cunt level of asshole, and they love it. We all age. I know I've not aged well at all. So, a little bit, Kelly, but they don't care if you've got an accent and you're broke and you don't have a car That's a big deal for Canadian girls. If you don't got a car, then you're nothing. Even though it is a very, very large city, expensive to have a car, insurance and parking alone, you need a mortgage for both of those. Yeah, I can be smart, the intellectual, and sometimes I can hide my tattoos and pretend I'm a professor or something. We can do all sorts of things. It could be fun and games. Okay, I'll join you. Wait, when did CT arrive? CT. Oh, CT's off to bed. CT, brother, I opened the show with a dedication for you. And if anyone, there's only 3 people here, then you know how it is whenever I start the show. People are, yeah, fuck TSP. I'm not going to early. He starts at 7. I'm going to fucking roll in about 20 past 7. That's when the cool kids arrive at the live show. Fuck that. It's just sad to be there waiting for him to go live. I mean, it'd be nice if some of you were live, but I did open the show to you tonight, CT, with a track entitled "The Lonely Trucker," and I said, "This is to our very own favorite lonely trucker, CT, wherever he is." And here he is at the end of the show. I'm not saying they all are, but just pretty much anyone that I've ever met in Canada has been. I even got set up on a blind date with this. Oh my God. I mean, she was huge. Gigantic, huge. And I kind of couldn't turn back. So I kind of saw the date out and I never heard from her again. Like, really? Because she found out I didn't have a car. No, we're not deleting the live feeds. It does take a long time. It does take a long time for them to upload recently. Yesterday it was about 7 hours before the live feed got through the processing. We are girlfriend. Yeah, women are, I mean, this is the thing. Guys are just happy if a girl says yeah. We don't really have any other requirements or criteria other than that. As long as she just says yes to our advances, we're good. Well, heavy American girl would never dish you like I'm like, seriously, I'm kind of almost considered this is charity work right now. And it was kind of not long after I got here and I didn't really know people, and sort of somebody that I did know kind of, hey, I got a friend that you could hang out with. And I'm like, really? Okay. Anyway, guys, we still do need to pee, or I still need to pee. Baby P's peeing. Who is it that keeps telling me I need to get a Tide Pod bottle? Although I am allergic to such things. Okay, Tide actually. Hubby, home, dinner time. Yeah, you just told you were having the foreplay. We know what your dinner is. Enjoy, Laurie. Think of me if you can. I'm south of Montreal, crossing south early. I'll try to catch the next one. Night, everyone. Stay safe, CT. Thanks for popping in. Always a pleasure to have you. I might even send you the link to the Lonely Trucker song, although you might have heard of it, being a trucker. So anyway, guys, let's wrap this up right now. Walk time for me, maybe grab some milk. So okay, everyone's got things to do. Baby P's old. No, you're not, Baby P. You're young at heart. Young at heart. What, you're allergic to something? Tide Pods. Sings a lot. And latex, funny enough. But Tide Pods, I told the story. I'm sure a little while ago, is actually when I first moved in here, because where I lived before I didn't have any laundry. I used to have to go to the laundromat, and I never used to have things like detergent. I used to just buy it when I got to the laundry. So when I moved in, I went out and I got some Tide Pods because they happened to be on offer at the time. So I bought a bag of Tide Pods and I washed everything, all my bedding, all my clothes, all my underwear, everything. I just washed everything from my old place when I moved in. And then I started like itching and scratching everywhere, itching and scratching. And the worst places that I was itching and scratching were kind of in the underwear. area. This is where the itching and the scratching was at its worst. And I even started getting lumps and boils in red, like zits everywhere, in particular in and around the underwear area, sort of like kind of around the nutsack, in the sort of the leg, the bits of leg between the nutsack and the ass crack, and in the ass crack there was also some of these blotches and itching, and I didn't know why. And every day I'd get up, I'd put my underwear on, I'd come home, I'd get into the bed that I'd been washing, I'd put the clothes on, I'd wash and dry myself with towels, all that I washed with the Tide Pods. And after about 10 days I was just like, holy shit, have I got shingles, chicken pox? What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm itching and scratching everywhere. I even had to cancel an appointment with Yuki. I was too embarrassed to go there with the blotches. It was that bad, and I just couldn't understand where it was. And I don't know what come over me, but what the hell? Where have I been? If I couldn't, I haven't been from to see Yuki for a while, so it can't be that kind of related infection, if you know what I mean. So I was like, where did it come from? And it turns out I did a process of elimination, the Tide Pods. So then I did a little search for Tide Pod allergy, and lo and behold, pictures and everything that come up were exactly the same as what I had. So I ended up going out and buying new detergent and washing everything all over again, and it actually disappeared. So just look at Tide Pod allergies on the internet, and some of it is absolutely disgusting. Just ending a barbecue. Awesome. That's what I like to hear. People getting together. Fuck social distancing. So fuck social isolation. We are social tribal pack creatures. We don't deserve to be then. Human stem cells in them. So yeah, Tide Pods were very, very, very uncomfortable, and the worst part was there were like these lumps on my fucking nuts, and even on my cock. I'm not gonna lie, it was fucking horrible. CH, I was going to ask. Anyway, guys, that's killed another couple of minutes. Maybe we will wrap this up at 2.5 hours. Always seems to get dragged up. Hey, when did your emojis changed? They knew that just happened. Also, something I noticed you can't do anymore. YouTube has clapped down on sub for sub channels. If you don't know what sub for sub channels are, they are channels where if you go and watch the live feed, it's for YouTubers with small channels, and people go on and they sub for sub. I'll sub to you if you sub to me, and it helps gain numbers. But YouTube clamped down on them, and no longer, when you like, let's click on alias look. It used to be able to go on to your channel, go to channel, but you can't. Report, remove, put on timeout, hide user on this channel, remove moderator. You like the cold and snow? No, I don't like the cold and snow, Jay Bravo. It was cold and a little bit snowy here. Not sure that was Tide Pods. No, it was. I looked. Go and look for them yourself online at what they look at. No, I can't update. It's too old. Gain Shah. I think that's what I got in the end. Gain. I think that's what I even have now. It's usually cheaper than Tide Pods. I only bought the Tide because they were new. Because I want to subscribe, but different option. Yeah, they don't allow you to do that now in the live change. You can't go over and go to channels and subscribe. You have to like literally go to the channel now yourself and subscribe. And let's have a little look, see how many subscribers I've lost since we've been live tonight. Monday night I lost 6. Yes, we've lost 6 again, guys. We've lost 6 subscribers. I was on actually 5 subscribers. It was 1962 before I went live, and it's down to 1957. So we've lost 6 subscribers since going live this evening. Each and every live feed I lose at least 4 or 5 subscribers, it seems. I might get 1 subscriber back tomorrow, but then when we go live tomorrow night we'll probably lose 3. So things changed. I don't like it. That's very poignant, Nancy. Lots of things have changed, and I don't think any of us like it. But anyway, you should be sad at the loss of 6 people who have subscribed since I started this live feed. What the fuck? Is Martha here? Hello, Martha. Again, someone always does it. Are you a gusset girl now, Martha? You're part of the crew that comes and turns up late. I noticed. Why did they do that? Okay, which 5 of you all unsubbed? You can actually go back. Look at my channel. Did I put it up the other day? In community. Yeah, there we are. Look, that was the other day. 6 subscribers unsubscribed on Tuesday. Alrighty, okay. J Silver Bravo's going. So here we go, guys. Let's all get together, link hands virtually, close your eyes, bow your heads, all that stuff. It is time for the thrift fair. I know it's fake alias. Don't milk any cats. CHL. Oh, ow. Okay, guys, so we are going to do the thrift pair on our way out. As I said, guys, I'm not a religious folks, but we're just going to ask whoever it is that is out there controlling the universe, watching over us, as long as it's not an artificial algorithm, computerized simulation, if there is a spiritual entity that does indeed have a control and interest in our well-being, then I ask whoever that individual or entity may be to watch particularly closely over our thrift fam, and in particular Nancy. She needs all the care and attention and watching over that she can get, but make sure each and every one, you know, stays out of harm, stays healthy, doesn't go for anything that they you know, they don't want for anything, and may we always have our little thrift fam community to come back and call upon for company and in times of need. Thank you very much, whoever you are in charge, for listening. And as I said, please do your utmost best and take it upon yourself to watch over the special people that come together each night to watch and join together at TSP TV. May the thrift be with you. Be excellent to one another. Amen. Thank you, guys. Come back tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed that there. And milking cats. On that note, let's say a good night to each one of you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Special thanks out to those of you who did put your hands in your pockets and donate and tip me out tonight. Very, very grateful for your contributions, because that really is my source of income at the moment, and it does help. Anyway, guys, I'm behind already. You've always been behind, but somehow ahead of the field, the pack. So guys, thanks everyone again for joining me tonight. Take care. God bless. Be safe, be excellent to one another, and as I said, thank you ever so much for joining me tonight. We will catch you again tomorrow. If you guys want to go chill out over on the Discord and hang out and talk and carry the after party on, you can go ahead and do so. And I am trying to desperately kind of wrap this up to 2 hours and 25, although we had a couple of puffering moments, so maybe it doesn't matter. Anyway, guys, it is, as you know by now, a shit video production. It is TSP TV live. We will catch you in another one. Until then, keep it thrifty, stay out of trouble, especially you, Nancy and Lmel.